we are go.
We are go. Nice.
Nice.
Alright. Fuck you, my connection to the server's been interrupted. How dare you?
Fucking rude.
I know, right? And we're back. Thank goodness.
I love that the hat's been moved off of Theo's head.
Nice.
He cannot wear a hat to bed.
So I take it, this will be taking place after Lemons has been brought back to the house once hospital has occurred.
I would assume so.
That's fair.
Either that or he didn't have to go to the hospital and just got stitched up at base.
Mm.
'Cause he only just, got full up. He did have a lot of lethal, but that was from knife wounds, so...
Yeah. Regardless, if he's brought back to the place the same day, talk will not happen right away. But he will get an apology from Nat for the
For the slap.
The slap.
and also a case of I'll explain why tomorrow, basically.
And that will get a weak smile. That sounds good.
Nice.
And he just
So
rolls
then-
over in bed.
That's good. So then next day occurreth, and we'll go for midday just to guarantee that both will be up and doing things.
We're not doing things.
Yeah, or chained to a bed, whichever. So yeah, you in comes a net. This is the net. Where net appear.
Lemons is probably just laying there, or sitting up or something. Probably sitting up. But he can't do much of anything else. I don't think anyone's gonna give him any knitting needles either.
No.
Probably not.
Lemons does not get anything sharp.
No.
Unless he's doing finger knitting. Is Theo up?
You'll probably been given at least one book.
What book is it?
What book do you want, Lemons?
Doesn't really want books.
Saucy romance novel.
Saucy romance.
The play script of A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder.
Oh my god. Okay, he may attempt to read it based on the title alone.
Did Natalie give him this book on purpose?
No.
Side-eye.
It was what was available. Actually, was A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder even out at the time? Hold on, I'm
I don't
gonna
know,
check that.
Hey, just give him the fucking unicorn book that kept popping up in the research library.
That's fair.
How to Kill a Unicorn?
Yes. That'll be sitting next to him.
Yes.
On the little night table because...
You mean Guy doesn't feel like reading about unicorns right now?
Guy doesn't read much. He's not really a book person. The last book he tried to read was one of the ones that was in Arthur's romance collection. Because he was curious what kind of books Arthur was into.
I remember when he failed an investigation into reading Henderson's journal.
He
'Cause
did.
It was, Because he was like, boring.
Yep, all the words, don't care.
Fair.
So it was just sitting there.
Nice.
Yes. And there's a
Hey.
net there.
But she is, and there will be a hey.
Hey.
Stupid question, but how are you doing?
I'm alive.
As are we all.
Fair. Are the other two awake?
Anderson is not.
Theo?
Would you like...
It's your call.
It's up
I'm
to
not
you.
totally positive he'd be at the infirmary and not the hospital, so unless
Right.
you want to
True.
RV with him, I'm just gonna have him beat.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, what time of day do you want this RP to be?
Midday.
So I'm sure Theo would be awake.
Yeah. Theo did not have to iron stamina, so he's probably up bright and early. Not that he probably... Theo's concept of time is fucked.
Oh wait, shit. Shit, you're right about the iron stamina thing. Shoot, I got full iron stam, which means that once he goes to bed, he's knocked out.
He's severe out, so it's probably later afternoon.
Yeah,
Lemon's passed out for like 12 hours.
Right.
he did.
So the conversation before, probably,
Yes.
like, if it did happen, it was right before he conked out.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry I
Probably
slapped
is.
you. Okay. And then his head hits a pillow.
Yeah.
He's done.
Okay, that's fine.
Right. Or one of those sleep
Yeah.
talks or something.
Yeah. I love it. So, yeah.
So instead of
Once
a
Lemon's-
wide awake lemon, it's a bleary-eyed lemon who is still laying in bed.
Yeah. He woke up like in the last half hour.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Where'd your blanket go?
Well, if it's afternoon, Theo's probably up. Also, he's probably not confined to bed.
True.
Mm,
So he had some lethal, so he probably got stitches, but
yes.
he was not as banged up.
The
I
hat's
love
back
when he
on.
regains the hat. Yes.
There you go.
This is very much lemon. now.
Mood.
Yes.
Wellesley, where'd you find a picture
Oh.
of him? Well, those bashings are all probably gone, though,
Mm,
by the time we do the sleep.
yes, definitely.
So that means Nat's actually more hurt than he is.
Oh no,
Oh. Well,
Natalie got munched on.
she did. She did a bit. It's an awful habit of hers to get munched on.
We're gonna
So, yeah.
do a little observation on you, a sleepy observation. Looks like I gotta pull up my sheet. I'm gonna do like -1 for sleepy.
Fair.
Hey, he did it.
Yeah.
Give me a Nat description.
She has the look of someone who's kind of like soldiering on. There seems to be like her shoulders seem to be nagging at her, but other than that, like she by and large has moved like the Natalie Cole you know.
He'll see her and be like, hey.
Hey. How are you today?
Was it apparent that she got mauled on the shoulders when they got picked up?
Yes, like her her coat got torn.
Okay.
Her second coat got torn. and
Oh
yeah,
no. Oh no, that's the one
Shoulder.
Arthur gave her.
It's the one that someone gave her. She still
Mystery.
hasn't found out.
Oh, was it Arthur?
No, don't know. No one told her.
But was it?
I thought we assumed it was Arthur.
We assumed it was Arthur. Yes.
I'm gonna roll a memory because last night was a blur. Or the day before, or whatever. Hey, you remember.
Nice.
How's the shoulder?
At this point, I'm not used to it hurting, just annoyed that it keeps happening.
You need to stop that.
They need to leave me alone.
Tell that to them.
I would, but they're on fire now.
That's good.
Yeah,
Think there's any left?
probably. It wouldn't surprise me if there was. But with their epicenter gone, and with a source of their potential propagation gone, it's difficult to say how long any survivors will last.
Mm-hmm.
How are you holding up?
Still achy.
Yeah.
Still wiped. Just absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotta say though, as terrible as this will probably end up for me, I'm glad we were picked up.
I'm glad we could pick you up before it got worse.
Yeah, it was looking really bad back there.
What exactly happened down there? Because you guys, I gather that Finnegan roughed you up. That goes without saying, because I doubt that you guys went willingly.
Yeah, he fucking ambushed us.
Mansion, yeah?
Yeah. How'd you find us?
We figured it'd be one of the places that you go, and then we picked up your trail from there.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, we went to the mansion and came back downstairs after getting like actual clothes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there he was, just waiting for us.
Seems he had the same idea as us.
Maybe. Fucker kinda had a homing beacon on me and I forgot.
What do you mean?
He always seemed to know where I was.
Hmm. Makes sense.
Kinda hoping
You had-
that we would have lost him in the mines, but that didn't happen.
Oh. You had dream shit with him too, yeah? It was just different from mine.
Hmm?
With Finnegan, I take it. I vaguely remember you telling me one time about how he could have been in your dreams too, or am I remembering that wrong?
I mean, yeah, he did. Did a
Hmm.
couple times. Out of character, Nat told everyone that she was in contact with Finnegan, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, his frown was just trying to recall that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, right. Yeah, he could do that.
Yeah, well, Makes sense then, because you guys have got that link, I guess. I don't know.
I'm curious if he had it with Julia too. She's a big mystery for me, obviously, but
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did, because I don't know how much of this I can tell you guys, but particularly you, but I'm gonna be open where I can. Do you know about how he why he like gets people, why he like targets them and corrupts them? Corrupted, I guess, now, which is weird to think about.
no. No, I just thought he just did it.
No, he was partly using you guys to fight a proxy war. And potentially as well, the eventual victor, depending on... He also eventually wanted you and Julia to fight.
Oh, that, yeah. Well, that happened.
Yeah.
It happened, well, I think I avoided it the first time, but, that last bit, it happened.
I gathered as much.
And then I would assume that the winner would then be eaten.
Potentially, either eaten or first thrown at infinity.
Out of character. I gotta try to figure out how much Lemons knows. Because he wasn't there for the rundown.
He wasn't.
And so far, he's been doing a really good job at avoiding everything.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think he always had a suspicion it was Infinity.
He likely always did.
So, another frown as he kind of clicks things. Uh-huh. I don't know. Can't ask him now, and thank fucking God for that.
Just a little.
I'm going to empathy you. No, never mind.
No, you ain't. No, you go away now. No, Mr. Bad.
Was that resisting the fail?
You
Yes.
still have to roll
Yeah.
now. Okay, there you are.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You get sweet FA lemons. So yeah, we found out a lot, and now everyone knows the shit that Arthur and I have been holding on to. Or at least the shit that I've been holding on to on Arthur's behalf. While I've been trying to find a way to
Right, I guess,
deal with.
guess that cat's
Yeah.
coming out of the bag, huh?
Oh, it's out. Very much so. Which is why we were scared that you guys had gone into the mines.
And we did.
The entrance that you went in, I gotta ask because of another thing we found out about Arthur. and what he used the mines for. The entrance that you used. Was there anything? Did you see anything there? Like, did you see any bodies or anything?
No, saw a wall. Saw a, yeah, I'm gonna roll memory for him. Saw a lollipop. But when we went crawling in, he asked me to close my eyes.
Motherfucker. There's a good reason for that. Well,
Yeah?
a
You're telling me
reason.
it isn't related to the whole... He waggles his fingers.
Partly, but also partly not. Unsure. I'll have to talk to him about it. But
'Cause I mean, I did see the edges of a cage, but I didn't look.
yeah, there was someone in that cage. It was Lauren Tote. She's dead now.
Huh.
He put her in there, and she starved to death, basically, or like dehydrated. You remember the stones we all got?
Yeah, I got him a while back.
Yeah. Tomo's was Lauren.
No, what do you mean that Tomo's was Lauren?
Everyone got someone different. Everyone saw a different spirit of a dead person. I believe Cheney got Roderick. Cheney saw Roderick. This because the stones had been made by Aubrey, basically, that would allow us
Right.
temporary.
Because they came out of the lighthouse, right?
Yeah, they allowed us temporary contact with individual spirits of people who've passed on. I, for example, got Vane,
Huh.
which was a fun little reunion.
Right? How'd that go?
Death doesn't cure being a bitch. She also pulled Theo in by taking advantage of his changeling dream influencing biology to use him as a hostage of sorts, or like shield against me, because she knew like how much I knew about infinity, because a lot of Vane's you may need some filling in. A lot of
I'm getting that.
Vane's actual plan was to keep infinity alive and to divert our attention away from her so that she could be kept alive. And
Well,
of
it
course,
worked.
me, yeah. Of course, me knowing what I know, I'm a threat. And so Vane pulls in Theo to basically be like, nah, fuck you. Try not telling anybody now.
So this is a thing that people aren't supposed to know.
It's a thing that everyone knows now. For better or for worse.
Uh,
Because
hmm.
I didn't want things to be in vain. And it
Finger guns
seems
at that.
and it seems that Arthur in that basement had the same idea.
Yeah, he did something.
What he did was he took advantage to send Infinity back to her body, her source in the mines.
Do we know that's where she is?
Not for certain, but it's the best bet.
Because I didn't see anything down there.
You didn't go deep enough.
I suppose we were just heading north. There were a couple other tunnels that we ignored. I assume one went to Jarediah's.
Mm-hmm.
There's
One will have
there's
gone
another
deeper
one that
into
seemed
the
to be like a room, but I didn't go that direction. Wait, what? He squints at you.
So, yeah, we followed the route you guys took.
You went down
I-
there?
Yeah,
Jesus.
we got caved in on. Tomo got real banged up. Felt something grab him, and like partly, I can't remember if it pulled him away from the rubble or kind of further into it. I'm remembering bits of this wrong, probably, but suffice it to say,
So that's how you stayed on. You went in?
yeah.
Is everyone okay?
Yeah, we wore like full hazmat suits and got fully decontaminated and everything afterwards.
Fuck.
That and apparently Bloodsaw in the mines, like the raw thing of it isn't fully as infectious as it's been led to believe.
No shit?
Because the reason that like the original people got it was because they were miners. So they were around it a lot.
Hmm.
So yeah, we followed you guys.
Well, I'm glad that no one was hurt. Where was the cave in?
That same entrance.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah, like it went in behind us, so we're thinking her. Well, I'm thinking her. I don't know about anybody else.
Huh. Don't know.
Could-
I
could
was
be
pretty
anything.
much leading in the dark because Arthur couldn't see.
Huh.
But he said just to keep an eye out for anything moving or moving walls, or I don't remember. Didn't see any, so.
That backs up other testimony because we have a patient of blood soil.
Was it one of the survivors? Did you guys
Yeah.
find more people?
Yeah, we found a lot more people. River and Lalo found Dolly beneath Jarediah's. She's got it bad.
Huh.
The thing that she signed out was that the walls moved. So
Shit, she must have been deep.
going off what Arthur told you,
Well, either
that
deep
lights up.
or, I mean, we never went in on Jarediah's side, so for all we know, it's thick all the way up to the entrance there.
yeah,
But I know that we didn't go that direction because last time we saw it, like it was caved in.
Yeah. Figured as much.
Which, now that you're mentioning things being caved in, that's vaguely alarming.
Hmm. Just another thing to watch out for when we eventually go in there.
Great.
Mhm.
I mean, for me, probably not as terrible as everything else that happened, so.
Mhm.
Provided that I'm still okay in
Yeah.
that department.
You might be, you might not be. I don't know how Wendigo curses work.
I don't either. I assume that I knew the minute he died because something felt different.
Hmm.
But I don't know what.
I guess we'll find out.
Foreboding.
When is this town anything but?
It was pleasant for a time.
It was. But the closer we get to solving the shit happening here, the more foreboding it gets. So.
Who else did you find?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of foreboding,
I said, who else did you find?
Trying to think. So, as part of the stone dreams, Aubrey shared with Theo and Sal, like, more memories and the origins of Infinity. How Vane took her into the mines to try and save her from blood soil. How she used abyssal magic to, or like something, I think it's called abyssal. I did a bit of reading on mages and how like some of their magic can come from like deeper than themselves. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was that, but that's what she did to try and keep Infinity alive, and it worked too well. So now her and Blood Soil are the same thing, and that's why Finnegan killed her. And Finnegan has been in a proxy war with Infinity ever since. We were also able to use that to... Wait, no, shit. You were there. Fuck, why am I going over this again? Were you there? It was a blur, I don't remember.
I don't know, Matt.
Yeah, all I remember is shit. All I remember is getting revenge.
Yeah. Nat?
Hmm.
I'm sorry. About what happened.
I know. I know. Abel told us that you... he saw and heard you try CPR.
No, it wasn't CPR. It was just... She was bleeding and... I mean...
Yeah, whatever you could.
Whatever I could. It was first aid. I tried to use that kit and
Yeah.
Arthur was in shock,
Mm.
of course.
Yep, you both would have been.
But I mean, I don't blame him. It's fucking Finnegan is...
Yeah, which is why I'm here. It's also...
Empathy.
You
Wow.
may not need. Oh, hold on. No.
No.
All you see is Nat's face suddenly turn purposeful as she adds, "It's also partly why I slapped you. Because through my contact with Finnegan, I was able to figure out parts of how his dream abilities worked.
Well, if you could elaborate, that would be nice.
Well, it factors into his relationship with us. He never wanted us as Guardians outright dead. If anything, we were an asset, just another pawn to be used, particularly against Infinity. So he could have done something like what he did to you to me at any time. He just didn't, because it wouldn't have been helpful to him. But that night, when you were there, you had a stone too. So whatever happened in that dream changed something. It let him in, for lack of a better term, and gave him the opportunity he needed to take control. So, who did you see? And what happened?
If you want to try an empathy. It is a lovely -2, though.
Oh. Hold on. Is all my? I don't know if all my willpower's used up. It got refreshed. It's
Oh,
fine.
yeah, I remember. Everyone's came back. Or
Willpower.
everything's back. Ooh, gasp. Shit, I might not actually be able to resist you. What'd I roll against your empathy? Resolve composure?
Yeah, it's just res comp.
Okay. Oh shit!
Ah,
little shit!
peek. Little peek. Little
A
peek.
little peek.
Wow.
Wow. A slow, kind of quiet realization as to what the stone meant, or what it was. But then as the conversation kind of veers more towards what he dreamed about, and then her just pretty much right up being like, dude, who'd you see?
Mm-hmm.
He kind of walls up, like, very somber, and like he really doesn't want to talk about it. It clearly was not a good experience for more than one reason. And he's taking a moment longer than, someone would to kind of collect himself to answer.
Yes.
Like maybe he's considering lying.
Mm-hmm. Take your time. Nat says, with with an implicity to it that is,
You better not
don't
lie to
try
me, bitch.
anything. Don't try anything.
I did see someone. I saw Catherine.
Cece?
Yes.
Figures that she's dead.
Yeah. And as he's kind of trying to figure out what to say, like, his face is still pretty, like, he's always kind of got, like, a poker face going, very composed. But, one tear escape. I have something I need to fess up.
Nat is just calm and quiet and just waits.
I did see Catherine, and she definitely wasn't happy to see me. Finnegan made me kill people. And I had killed her. I'm going to call empathy. Nap for that. See if she reacts.
That's fair.
Shit.
All you get is like like a long intake of breath and a slow nod.
I mean, I couldn't really say anything because it just, I mean, what do you say? But for the dream, I mean, I saw her and then he came in like a shadow. And I could tell he was there, but it wasn't, like, I tried to fight it, but there wasn't any, there was a hand on my shoulder and a compulsion. It made me kill her again. Except that.
Hey Lemons.
Yes.
On the made me, please roll a res comp.
I mean,
as Natalie will scrutinize.
you can scrutinize all you want. This is how he feels, so it's not going to come off as a lie, because in Lemon's thought process, like, he wouldn't be killing people if it wasn't for Finnegan.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So I'll roll.
It's something that he believes to be the truth.
Yes, it is absolutely what he believes to be the truth.
Right. Then fair enough.
I mean, I'll still roll it, but what you're gonna get from him is he's telling the truth. Like, this is he is already unfolding everything for you.
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's fair. Okay. So you say you had to kill people for him.
Yeah.
Why?
He said it was for something. For a ritual or something like that.
And you just went with it?
I was stuck. I mean, I was infected with blood soil, and he stopped that. And I had asked him that if I went along, if he would leave you guys alone. And of course, in retrospect, I was dumb.
By you guys,
The Cardians.
I take it you mean.
And he hasn't touched you guys. He didn't touch
No.
anyone except for, well, Arthur.
But it was always his plan to kill Arthur.
It was always his plan to get Liz.
It was, yeah, that too.
Even from the very beginning, his very first suggestion of a target was Liz. And
That
I
will-
told him no, not her. And then he followed it up with, well, it has to be someone from the town.
But this Nat will settle back in her chair, and you are free to try to empathy.
Hey! Huh?
I will willingly take minuses for this
Yay.
because this is stirring up very complicated feelings about both Nat's personal ethics and her relationship with Liz.
Oh, I got you. Yes.
She's torn. You are seeing the emotional equivalent of a piece of paper tearing before you right now, between two camps of thought. I take it that with pretty much everyone else, for you guys, it was always a case of her? No. Oh, then it has to be someone else.
Yep. And the night when I got out of here, the one that I basically just ran out and got shot. But I still got out.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that I had to kill Arthur. Well, I didn't. And, well, you can kind of see what happened there.
Yeah. He also did a plan B with me. It almost worked. Now, who am I kidding? It worked for a time.
What'd he do?
So I went after you guys. But a hedge beast got me. And it fucked me up hard. Probably the hardest I've ever been fucked up, outside of that one time in Bo's realm where we all got hypothermia, and I had to drag our asses into that cave. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know, right? How did you know? But it got me real good. The only reason I'm even alive is because I was able to slow it down, and it stopped right in front of Rayfield and Baronschmidt, who had come into town, and that was the inciting incident that got them recruited.
Yeah,
where they can.
I was there for the latter part.
Yeah,
I
well,
think, right?
I don't remember. That was all a blur to me. All I remember is them shouting, gunshots firing, and me hyper-focusing on trying to stop myself from bleeding out, as
Right.
I could literally feel myself bleeding out. And then Aisha took me back here, and I went into another dream with Finnegan. And he healed me up.
Huh.
Through presumably the same mechanisms that he influenced you. Like, he full-on possessed you, but he like healed me.
No, he's definitely done that. The first time he tried to get me to fight Julia, I had some scrapes, or I don't remember, no, it wasn't just some scrapes. After the fucking all that shit that Caleb threw at us.
Yeah, heard about that.
That was crazy. He's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wounded, and he grabbed my wrist. Actually, he had my wrist already. I tried to stab him. Well, by try, I mean I did. But yeah, he had my wrist, and I felt better.
Yeah. When I woke up after the dream, it had healed up. I've still got the scar. It's gnarly as fuck. But no nerve damage, no lasting effects, no nothing. It's like physically, like internally, it never happened. And it like stunned River, who was like tending to me at the time. But yeah, he basically played me and played on my feelings of wanting to protect her. And my knowledge of her mom being there, and the fact that the hedge beasts were a problem, and he played on my priorities, and it worked. And I thought she would be fine, but she wasn't, because
What do you mean?
well, she doesn't have her mom wasn't there anymore.
Oh yeah,
Unbeknownst to
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, he dug up her mom's corpse and
Did
fucked
something.
with it. He fucked with it to a way that her ghost is no longer here. Took away the safety net of that, and through me, he told me to try and persuade the team to to leave her to it, because she'll be fine with her mom. and to just go and solve the hedge beast problem.
Yeah.
So I know what being played feels like.
Yeah, seems like he did a variety of lying. I don't know if he ever outright lied to me. Just so much as insinuated, and I thought one way and it was the other.
Yeah.
But I know he lied to Julia.
Oh, he definitely lied to her.
'Cause-
There's no way she would have stayed with him so long
no,
if he didn't.
well, and I mean, and the second time when he basically tricked her into fighting me, because you know that little mimic that she always thought was Rowan.
We saw it on the floor when Theo and I went down to get her.
Yeah. So Arthur and
What
I were
happened?
down there, and after Finnegan tried to question Arthur about stuff,
Do
about
it.
how he did it, how.
About blood soil and everything else, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
well, what happens next? Where does it go? Stuff like that. Arthur wasn't answering him the way he wanted it to, or I don't know. But the little mimic had come out and had wandered right up to him. And he picked it up and he kind of does like a hand motion with like the neck snap.
Mhm.
I figured his hands were full, so I just booked it. But Julia was right at the stairs, and she saw a dead little mimic and thought it was me.
That explains the fight.
Yeah. And it's fine. I mean, I blame her, but I really don't. Like, I'd actually like to have a chance to talk to her if she makes it.
Oh, absolutely, I would too. I've been waiting to have a talk with her. But it all depends on what's decided. I've been making my cases to bosses about you guys.
Well, for what it's worth,
don't know
I'll try
what-
to say something. We'll see if they listen.
Fair.
I know that if Cheney's okay, that she might try to defend us.
Hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
Carly. God, it really
Well-
fucking sucks. She just gets here and this all happens.
I
And
know,
Theo.
right? Mm. No one can say Carlsville isn't eventful.
Never be bored.
Well, you got at least one person advocating for your lives. She raises a hand.
Thanks.
For your everything else, though. Not sure what I can do about that.
Well, I'm gonna try my best to keep all these, and he waggles his fingies.
She smiles mirthlessly. Well, like it or not, you've got shit you need to answer for. So does Julia, so does Arthur.
Right.
Actually, Nat will double take at like Lemons' finger wave. Which hand did he wave?
Do you want to do a notice roll?
She will actually. Yes. Hold on. What's the notice roll again? Is it just?
Just do like a perception.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because he waggled Shit, let me check what hand he wiggled. I mean, his hands have been out. Like, he's not hiding his hands, so...
Mm-hmm.
I kind of imagine him waggling both fingers, though, or both hands, so... So, you noticed enough that, there is a little portion of a pinky missing.
That kind of double takes. Was that Finnegan?
I got a little peckish at one point.
You need help, Kai.
Don't I know it? I'm really hoping that River can finish those hand plants. Really hoping.
Yeah.
Because let me
But
tell
I don't-
you, after everything, once I can quit meat, I probably will.
Fair. I'll push for Pleasant to help you as well, because God knows you need her.
Yeah. That's about right. How are you doing that?
I'm just tired. Like, I want to be my usual self and moralistic and high and mighty and point at you with the accusing finger and say, your carelessness and bad habits have cost people their lives, but honestly, everyone's has, and I'm just tired.
You keep holding on, though. You got far so far.
Wait, what did he say?
You got this far. That's what I meant.
Oh, well, we all did. We just got to make sure we're all there for when the job's done.
Trying. Definitely trying.
Yeah.
I mean, all in all, it could be a little bit worse for wear, but
We could.
Arthur, man. Fuck Finnegan.
Yeah. Do you want to know the strangest thing?
Hit me.
I feel bad that I couldn't do worse.
To him?
Hmm.
Hey, a little bit of vindication.
I know, but how many people's lives he's ruined? How many people he's killed? How many people he's killed by proxy? How many people he's corrupted and turned into worse versions of themselves that no one ever thought were possible? How he created a race of horrific things just to sate his own curiosity. How what it's done to you and Julia and to a latter extent Arthur, and how he's preyed on the St. Bellingses for just being born the wrong people. I've been sitting on the full extent of his crimes for so long now.
Clearly,
The moment
you need to get your hands on another stone if there is one.
That
Summon
won't
up
do-
his
that-
ass and slap him.
It won't do me any good. I feel like it will, but I know it won't. But
Do you think you'll still see him?
no,
'Cause, I mean,
I-
Tomo still sees Vayne, doesn't he?
he does, but I don't know if that vein he sees and hears is even real.
Linus just shrugs. Hell, sometimes we don't know what's real.
Yeah. Sometimes the thing that isn't real is real too.
Yeah.
All I know is we've all messed up, but you got stupid. And you messed up worse.
Yep.
Like I feel weird for not being angrier with you than I am, but honestly, as bad as the stuff you've done, you're a victim in this too. There's no escaping that. There's no getting away from that. I feel like going forward, whatever happens, everyone else needs to remember that too.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a big old question mark.
Wait, in what form?
What?
What question mark? Like what?
No, just what's gonna happen.
All right. Well, I don't know what's necessarily going to happen with you three. I'm hoping you're kept alive. I'm hoping
Same.
Yeah. I'm hoping you're given the rehab you all need. Because sweet Christ, you all need it. But whatever happens, we're off to the mines eventually. But before that, there's a town to deal with. Because Wes is getting antsy. And we need to find an ambassador on our behalf to the town. Because if we don't, I don't know what's going to happen with us, but
I take it no Gloria yet, huh?
no. Not yet.
And we lost Liz. Everyone liked her.
It is at this point that I will roll a res comp. She passes.
You did it.
Her eyes are watery too, but it's fine.
It's fine. We're fine.
We're fine.
We'll cry big, massive tears later.
Do you want to know the funny thing?
Hmm?
Literally, the next day after that night, I was gonna. Tell her, and I was also gonna tell her that I had moved on. Because that night, talking with Danny a lot, I realized that it wouldn't be fair to be in a relationship with someone outside of this double life that we're in, because that's a whole other level of emotional burden and understanding that you can't fake, or you can't pretend to understand unless you've already been through it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Which is why that same night, Danny and I became a thing.
A thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because Arthur and I did too.
Yeah. I personally suspected as much, because he wouldn't have gone with you if there wasn't something deeper there. Like the fact that you went together. I'll be honest, not only did that clue me into something had changed between you two, it also clued me into the fact that you weren't the driving force behind Liz's death. It gave me hope.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, I'd be dead if it went well, if it hadn't been anyone you know.
No, I don't.
And he had considered going on his own, but I wasn't gonna let him go alone.
No.
It's funny, I thought he was gonna kill himself at first.
No.
And then
He wouldn't
and
have.
then he did the ritual thing, and
Yeah.
that's what the knife was for. I thought he was gonna use the knife for something else.
Yeah. No, that. Infinity has always been his priority. It's part of why he's kept the distance from Liz that he has.
No, I understand that now.
So it also makes sense why, after her death, he would do that, because the ritual that he did involves moving Infinity away from him. Had he done that while she was still alive, it would have passed it on to her.
I kind of got that gist.
Yeah. We haven't even had a funeral for her yet. We haven't had the chance.
We haven't had a chance for a lot of things.
I'm only just starting to grieve.
He holds a hand out, and he'll take hers if she'll let him.
is out, and like she kind of looks at you, go to take it, and she doesn't actively take your hand, Lemons, but she doesn't resist you holding it.
Okay. And I'll give her hand a gentle squeeze.
You want to know the awful, twisted thing in all of this? We wouldn't be the steps closer that we are to dealing with infinity, and to be in a position where we can deal with infinity, if that hadn't have happened.
Well, that's a shitty thought.
I know, but it's been with me ever since that night.
That Finnegan basically.
He was right.
And of course he was. Fucking.
But there must have been another way.
There has to have been.
There must have been. I was working on it, and I was getting close. After that dream with Vane, I was in the best possible position that I was. Because I knew that the origin of it was partly magical, so I was gonna look into that on my own and not and stick with the plan of just having everyone else get on and not have to worry about it. But well, everyone knows now, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't gotta bug me for secrets anymore. Don't have to dance around it.
Wonder if we'll be taking down all the mirrors.
Well, she hasn't shown up yet, so that's a good sign, I hope.
And what was that about way back when you said Theo and the dream thing?
So Theo got Aubrey, but he didn't just get Aubrey. Vane pulled him in too, because well, the whole thing with the dreams was that like they were purposeful. Like we could ask the spirits in them whatever we wanted, and they seemed to be able to give us the answers that we wanted. So Vane knew that I stood a threat to infinity. I stood a threat to the continued life of her sweet, precious baby girl. And she knew that the whole point of me keeping everything from you guys was to shield you from it. That if you guys didn't know, you weren't in any danger, because the more you know about her,
The more in danger.
the more because it's like then she exists to you.
Well, I guess the big question is concerning that now is, can she affect everyone at the same time, or does she have to focus?
My hope, part of my hope behind finally being able to tell everyone was that the latter would be the case, or at the very least, that if it was happening to somebody, they could ask for help, and then someone else could come in and help them deal with her, should she manifest. I guess we'll find out one way or another. But so far, it's been a few days. It's also been a few days since the ritual, and nothing. You want to know something funny? I thought I saw her in Boston. You remember that one time in the hotel bar where I left suddenly? I left to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I thought I saw her in my drink. I saw something in the reflection. But when I tried to more directly talk to her and kind of coax her out, I just ended up giving myself a panic attack.
Huh. Yeah, I know by that time, I knew reflections were something about it.
Yeah. It's just...
If you remember, since then,
Yeah.
I've kind of stopped wearing the reflective parts. And he tapped his glasses.
Huh. In retrospect, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't notice at the time because too insular focused, but nice.
Yeah, I noticed Arthur had issues with it. I mean, I was at his place, and there wasn't a reflective surface.
There wouldn't be. She can use mirrors and reflective surfaces to manifest.
And even his car, like, he doesn't have any
Wing mirrors.
mirrors at all.
No.
So I kind of figured.
Yeah.
And I mean that night, when he decided what he was going to do, he was looking
Used
at a
him.
mirror.
Mm-hmm. She'll have been there.
Yeah, I heard her. He told me to close my eyes, which I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna do a memory check.
Yeah.
Oh, nope. Abel just flew
No.
his mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was a little spooky.
Mm.
Floorboards.
She's
creaking.
manifested. She has manifested before.
Where?
You remember the night that we fought Vane?
I was a little
You'd fucked
busy.
off. Yeah, you'd fucked off, but remember how Hellings cut off Tomo's hand?
Mm-hmm.
He did that because Tomo let Arthur and I out. Because Arthur thought that the dark was being partly influenced by infinity. So we went into the hole that was in the graves, and she partly manifested behind a door in like the corridor that spawned inside the grave hole. I figured it was her because I was hinting at it at the time, and apparently one time as well, she came to Tomo in one of his original dreams about Vane.
Oh, good. So she's got dream stuff too.
Yeah, she doesn't just have dream stuff. She can mimic voices,
Oh, that's great.
particularly through whether it's. I don't know whether she can do it physically, but she can certainly do it through telephones. Because that's how she brought Arthur here.
You know, the first time Finnegan spoke to me was through a phone. But it was a
Difficult.
phone in a dream.
Difficult to say if it might have been him, it might have been her, but the reason Arthur came here is because at the time she was still with his mom, and she calls him out of the blue, and he gets to the house, but his mom's already dead, and there's still a voice talking to him on the phone. He didn't tell me anything else, just that the Guardians found him outside the mines.
It sucks.
Yeah, it does. Hopefully now with her gone, he can begin to heal at least a little.
I hope so.
I hope so too. However, I told him that he could count on me, and that because I knew about Infinity and Blood Soil too, that he didn't have to be alone. And all that time, he hid Lauren from me.
Well, when was that?
Lauren's been dead a while. Lauren's been dead since around about the time that we came back and put him in the coma after he shot me. So all this time he's been holding on to that. All this time he's not told me. When he could have.
I mean,
But he
looking at it
didn't.
right now, time-wise, he's been conscious for only well, plus a month, right? Was it a month or a couple that we were gone?
It was about a month. It was 3 weeks.
Well, the first time was a month, and the second time was, I don't remember.
I think it was another month, but suffice it to say, we've talked since. We've talked plenty since. And in all those conversations, not once. He told me about Sarah and Jeremiah.
Eyebrow raise.
He told me how they both went looking into the mines, and how Infinity took advantage of him, and how she amplified his paranoia to the point where he was essentially responsible for their deaths. He killed them. He killed Jeremiah after calling in Deadman's Hand. partly using false pretenses as to why. He told me about all that stuff that he did. And yet when it comes to an innocent girl who he's left, I get that he's a victim too, and I get that Infinity has played with his mind, but he's betrayed my trust.
Is it possible that she was a mistake?
I don't know.
Because he was
Because
in
one
a
of the
coma.
He put her in a cage, Lemons. He didn't mean to kill her, but for what purpose he kept her there, I don't know.
Oh, and I mean, I don't know either.
No.
But she was, I mean, where I went running, I meant to go to the other treehouse, which is what I thought Lauren was talking about. And it turned out to be a mine entrance.
Yeah. It was where she liked to play. I think she'd strayed too close or something, or like she'd gone in too deep. And then that triggered Infinity, which in turn she triggered Arthur. But I don't know. And it's one of the things I'm going to ask him.
Just could be a lot of really bad things happening at the same time. I know he was, if this is the same time that I'm thinking of, and that was a while ago, so time. I called him and he sounded hella stressed during that time.
Yeah.
And I mean, we left him alone for a whole month. So, I mean, that time alone and what we already know about him.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so when he shot me, he'd been talking to himself, or it seemed like he was.
Uh-huh.
You know, just kind of that wordless or soundless muttering. And it was like he was fighting with himself. And that was just like a day or a couple hours or however long it took him to mull over that when I had come out about my cannibalism.
Yeah.
Now take that
Because
and think about if she'd had him for a whole month.
Oh, no, I'm not saying I don't get it. Because I do. Like, I understand Arthur better than anybody. Like, I know. I've been, like, trying to parse how much is him, how much is Infinity. For ever since I found all this out. Still don't have a clear answer, but I know he didn't mean for her to die, but the fact that it went on for the amount of time that passed did, and he didn't even tell me she was there, like, to at least go and retrieve her body. That's what burns me.
Well, then ask him.
Oh, I'm gonna. You best believe I'm gonna.
Just don't kill him, okay?
Oh, no. I'm not gonna kill him. I know that for a fact. Hell, I think even if I punch him in his douchey fucking face at long last, like he might. I think he might fall apart because of because of everything that's happened to him physically. He was in really bad state.
Oh, yeah. Finnegan was not kind to him. And that fucking door that Caleb smashed in his face wasn't good either.
No. But yeah, I'm gonna give your boyfriend a good talking to, because if he'll talk to anyone, he'll talk to me.
Okay.
And I'm kind of banking on that to get answers. I'm also banking on that for our bosses to spare him. But we'll see.
I mean, he has... He hasn't directly hurt any of us. Well, okay. I know. He hasn't killed us.
He hasn't killed us, but he has killed... he has killed.
Well, and you said for Sarah and Jeremiah that I mean, he didn't do that.
Well, he... Again, it's a case of it's unclear what's him, what's Infinity, but
I'm saying
he's at least partly responsible.
is that if the dead man's hand was involved, then they already know about that, at least that portion.
Well, they'll already know about some of it. How much they know, I don't know. A question for Yao and Aisha, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty much just gonna come down to them. I'm banking on my good looks and charms.
I'm banking on them buckling before my belligerence.
And together we will be a force to reckon with. Thanks, Nat.
She just nods and like moves her hand away from yours, Lemons.
I was about to say, if he hasn't let go of her hand already, he would have.
Well, if I get snippy with you in the coming days or weeks, you know why.
And I'll be here for you to tell me all about it. 'Cause I'm not going anywhere.
See that you don't.
Yeah, you make sure. By the way, when you do head out, do you think you could bring Sarah down here? My bird, sorry.
Oh yeah, totally. We've been trying to figure out what she's been up to be honest.
Bird things.
Oh, presumably.
I try to make sure I leave her a pretty big bag of feed, considering I seem to disappear every couple of days.
Yeah,
So she
Shall
should
we-
be okay on that account.
hopefully, but who knows what hobgoblin offshoots eat? Did Arthur tell you about that? And she looks at you again, Lemons.
Ah shit, I thought you were just joking.
Huh.
Hobgoblin offshoot?
Yeah. The reason the tooth crows are there at all was part of a diversionary tactic from Arthur to cover his tracks as far as Sara and Jeremiah went.
Well, that makes a lot more sense considering his reaction then.
Mm-hmm.
So this
You-
means I'm just gonna have to keep her away from him.
Yes. Extra. It's why, you know how when we went through the lighthouse way back in November and everyone had a room,
Yeah.
and how we went through a room with cages, and how no one, and how we were all like, oh, whose room is this?
I don't know.
Oh, well, that was his, basically. It was his original storage area and amassing area for the tooth crows.
Hmm.
They are a hobgoblin offshoot. It's why when we went in the hedge, some of the
Maybe some of those
hobgoblins,
other birds.
yeah, it's why they looked so similar.
Oh. That makes sense. Also makes sense why Lalo does not like her.
Yeah, it would too. He's probably half expecting her to say his name or something.
I mean, if someone says his name around her, she will.
Guess we'll just try to avoid that then.
I'm gonna try to train some things out of her. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
You do that. And she gets up to go. Just so we're clear though on where things stand. I know that you didn't want any of this. And as someone who has unintentionally been partly responsible for innocent deaths, I can empathize and I can sympathize. But ultimately, you know that your actions hurt people. And that I'm one of those people now. So I don't know if we can be friends going forward. We can certainly listen to one another and have one another's backs, but
Would you like to empathy the lemon?
she would, as she finishes with, I don't know if we can ever go back where we were. And at that point, do I still get the -2? I still get the -2.
You still get a -2, but we'll see if I feel like resolve composing against you.
Holy
Holy
shit!
shit, you did it! Do I resolve comp or just let it go through? Well, I might resolve comp to try to dull down the
Mitigate.
crit. Oh, oh,
Oh, oh, oh, oh! We got a battle on our hands.
oh.
Oh, he just one out.
Just one out. I will say that he does look a little disheartened. But he doesn't say anything.
And she'll finish off with, and I don't feel like that's unfair. I hope you get better though.
You too.
And with that, she will head out.
Ayo.
Hey.
Hey.
Look at all those emotions.
Right? All those big, complicated feelings.
What?
Because you know what, I'm waffling on two things here. So, considering that he's a sociopath,
Mm.
whether or not he's actually bothered by her not being a friend.
Oh no. Well, it depends on how much, like, his sociopathy has been altered and how much his condition has been changed,
I mean,
and
it's
whether or
true.
not he even previously considered Nat a friend.
He did. The chart says so.
Then tell us, Lemons sits in the therapy chair. How does that make you feel?
I don't know yet. Because the way I've been kind of playing him is that he doesn't care until he pretends enough, and then at some point pretend becomes reality.
Okay.
So, in the beginning, with everyone in rural, it was, play pretend, be friends with them, be friendly.
Yes, be the good neighbor.
And at some point, he actually was friends.
Yes. So how does he
so
then?
we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
At one point, did Lemons catch feelings?
Yes.
At one
and,
point, there
and,
was feelings.
and now that those feelings have been caught, and those feelings have resulted in the people who he has those feelings for being hurt and expressing that hurt at him, how does he therefore feel about that?
I mean, the last time he was caught in his own feeling train, he got angry and killed someone, so...
Oh no!
Don't do that again. Hey, that's a bad idea, guy.
Especially not just after you've had a short lecture of how, hey,
Exactly.
you maybe don't hurt people.
But no, her throwing back right at him about looking at consequences, like, how does it feel to be dealing with the consequences? Like, this is where his thought process is going right now. He's not gonna kill anyone. It's more along the
No.
lines of, this is what happened last time. Like him thinking about, like, that's what happened last time. And that's not a good
Yeah.
feeling.
Yes.
And that's not a good thing.
It's just like, someone's making me think about the consequences of my actions. I
Yeah.
hate it. I hate
I
it.
don't like this. I don't like it.
So he might waffle. There's two ways he could go. There's either being super sad about it and maybe trying to win back that friendship. I
Or
guess
just-
there's also just being chill about it, or there's hardening to it. So we'll see.
It's up to you.
It's up to me.
Yeah.
I like to play dynamic relationships where even I don't know where they go.
Same.
Until it
That's how-
happens.
That's how I was playing this whole thing.
I'm
Holy
just
shit,
glad
'cause
you didn't kill me because I know you said that was an option.
I did let you know that it was very much an option, but in the moment, it was a case of, God damn it, he's right. He, like,
The way he said it too.
also, yeah. And, like, the fact that Nat has been pulling for Arthur and Julia on the lines of they are both victim and, like, terrible person. And them being terrible people is tied irrevocably to their victimhood, and you can't really deal with one without the other, so you have to acknowledge both. So that's why she's been comparatively blasé about it than what she could have otherwise been. Because what she's essentially done is aired her grievances with the man partly responsible for the death of someone she loved.
Right.
And that is a new feeling for her, because now she's on the opposite end of that, whereas there was one time in her life where she was on the receiving end.
Oh no!
Which is what the whole bit at the end was about how I know how it feels to have caused like an innocent death.
Uh-huh. Juicy.
Nerdly.
Good shit.
Big sad
Good shit.
hours.
Hooray!
Hooray.
That was a long one.
It's
Dang.
Dang. Big
Basically,
complicated feelings.
yeah, and it was a last time on Guardians Rural.
Right. Kind of like
we got
compiled
lemons up to
everything.
speed.
We did. Oh, by the way, lemons. Nat vomits all over him, and it's just the letters that spell out exposition.
Yes. Well, I think if later Bree wants to like hand wave at least Lemon's talking about what he went through, I might just be like points at RP, points at him confessing.
Yes.
So I don't have to rehash it. Yeah. Because he for sure would tell the aces and the dead man's hand all the truth too, so. So yeah, Lemons told the truth.
Good job, lemons.
I did briefly consider lying.
I know.
He was going to substitute Fatima for Catherine.
Mm.
He knows Nat can catch him out sometimes on lies at this point.
Yes.
It's true.
Lemons is like, damn, you were all so much easier to lie to back when all this first started.
Right.
What
Well,
happened?
Also, if he told that lie, then he'd be digging himself a hole, because that would open a whole other can of worms.
Right.
And he also wanted to finally let Cheney off the hook of, keeping that all undercover.
Mm.
That's fair.
You all wrapped up for tonight then,
I think so.
I think so, since
Okay.
it's getting late on the East Coast end. Also,
It's
Shark, go to
almost 1
bed.
a.m. I have work at 6 a.m., so